Yes, you do.
Okay.
Oh,
This
we didn't,
policy right here, we forgot that.
we didn't
To accept
include
the
that into the
policy.
motion, did we?
Yeah, we didn't have it in the motion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will make a motion to accept the policy of the non-lethal weapon. Or less lethal weapon.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any just further discussion?
I guess I just have one, Jason, did you
Yes.
use, is this what the county uses, other departments? I assume?
Actually, this is a model policy through the International Association of Chiefs of Police that I went through and I adjusted or tweaked as necessary for our department to be more specific.
Okay,
But it's, yeah, I kind of use nation and worldwide.
okay. Yeah, I have nothing further.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Public Works,
Okay, page 27's report. The only thing to add, water since last month, their frequency drive that blew up, we got it replaced now and it's working fine, so. And it wasn't nearly as much as our first estimate was. And on parks, you see we got the sign finished and internet installed at the park. And we still have to come up with a time to get the picture over there, maybe at the end of this week sometime if people are available. I see Al's gone now, so. But Larry's back in town now, so I'll probably be contacting you sometime this week. When I can try to arrange all that to get the, make sure Don's available to get the pictures taken, so. Any questions on it? Okay. Moving on, next is tower painting. We're gonna be having them antennas put on and stuff next year and looking at getting it painted before they go on, so we don't have to look at removing them. And the tower is due for a paint job, it's original paint on there yet. I've had several people up here looking at it and they all came to the same conclusion of what it needs. We looked into maintenance contracts and all that kind of stuff. It looks to me like the direct negotiation is probably the best option for us. Page 28 and 9 is a summary of what the estimates were and what they were including, and then met with Lacey and I and Pat and Steve met with each of them individually and just clarified and heard a presentation from them regarding what they're offering and what the prices are. We've had one change today, came in on the Viking. Well, originally when I did this, we weren't talking about any logo stuff, so I was just throwing it out there to get it back to exactly the way it is now. And during this meetings with each individual, it came up that maybe we want to look at changing the logo on there, and so we asked each of them individually what kind of cost we'd be looking at to add that. And this latest proposal reflects including the logo on there, the one we got this morning. But basically, they all have pretty decent references and stuff. All have their pluses and minuses. I guess I'm putting it out there to see which way you guys want to go. They're underneath the 175 threshold, bid threshold, so what do you want to know? I guess make a decision, I guess.
So Bruce, you said this one that we just received, that the 174.7 includes the logo?
Yes, if we do,
Okay.
yes. As does the one from Tri-State Coatings at 172. So. Vikings offering a 3-year warranty, Tri-State's a 2-year warranty, but from what I'm understanding, if it's gonna fail the first year or so, we're gonna know about it. And it's kinda nice having the extra, but it's not a huge thing, I guess.
Oh, I see see the one in Baxter's being repainted, or any of these companies doing that one, that you're aware of?
I don't know who's actually doing that one, to be honest with you. I think it's a Bolton and Mink project, but I'm not sure who's the contractor.
I was just curious if it was any of these threes.
I don't believe so. The first one, when we met with them, they came in on, it looks the cheapest initially, but my gut tells me we might have some surprises in there. There's a lot of, we'll do everything else on change orders and a la carte and that kind of stuff. I'd much rather see it all laid out. This is what it's gonna cost to do it, no surprises, that kind of thing. And both these second two seem to be right in there, so.
Are we, the people that were in the, listening to these people, are we in agreement on who we wanted to pick?
I don't know, I personally think that there's benefits to, I'm McGuire Iron, I'm with Bruce. I get a feeling that it's gonna end up being way more expensive than they're saying it's going to be. So for me personally, they have been around for a really long time, and I think they're sort of banking on that. But I don't feel like that would be our best option, personally.
Their price also doesn't include the logo, does it?
Correct, and that was something that we hadn't really talked about, if we want a logo up there, if we wanna just keep it with the same Motley block letters or not. If we do, then they are the cheapest, unless they start adding change orders for other things, but, yeah, the other two, the one thing, I think, so, I see it as the Viking, includes an extra year of a warranty, and they have like an aluminum wrap that they put around the riser, I think that's what it's called, that might help the insulation.
Help protect it.
Yeah, but it's also $2,700 more than the other one, and the other guy is more local. I don't know.
Well, let me ask, I thought we were in agreement, here, but,
The price came down, so that was the change for me.
right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Pardon?
I didn't mean to cut you off, sorry.
No, that's okay. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, the price change for me, it now includes the logo. That was the biggest difference for me before, when we met with all of them.
The riser was important, I think, to all of us also, where it was gonna be stripped down, inspected, sprayed, insulation put back up. That seemed to be very important to all of us. And Tri-State was doing that.
I think Viking was as well, right,
Yes.
Bruce?
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know if I
both of
can
them.
interject at all, but I'm with Viking, so if I can help answer any of those questions.
Yeah, they both were included. I was honestly torn so much, I didn't know which way to go. I mean, as long as it's one of the second two, they both got advantages. I mean, the guy's right here in Whiting and one of them, but, he's a one family crew, and he's gonna work on one tower at a time. And
Do they put
I asked about,
enclose it?
no, so none of them do,
None
but
of
they
them do.
all, the paint itself is not sprayed on. The paint is rolled on
Oh,
because of the type of paint, and
Wow.
it's dry fall.
And also by the time it would hit the ground, it's dry.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the dry
Because I just
fall.
noticed in Baxter, they had a whole sheet over it, so they must have.
It's like over
sprayed.
$100,000 to get that.
Oh, we don't want that.
Yeah, no, no. I know, as soon as they said that, I was like, oh yeah, everybody will be fine without
Roll it
one.
on.
at some point in time, when you have to sandblast it down, we're looking at an overcoat on the outside and sandblast the interior. At that time, we'll have to put weld tabs on, hang them curtains on. This time, they use like dry fall paint, and I believe that's just the primer or base coat, and then the urethane gets rolled on, because that would carry a long way if they sprayed it, so.
Okay.
so.
Well, I guess to me, I mean, they both seem similar, and I was not in the earlier discussions, but if you guys all like those two, my gut is telling me that it means a lot to deal with a local company. But that's just my,
I will say, the local company I like, he also has, a boom that goes up 135 feet. So there's no rigging involved, it just goes up, so you're, just personally, I think, weather, if we run into problems with weather, you know, that can be done quicker. If weather, they live in Wadena. I also will say, it seems like I thought we were done on who we were gonna pick, I really did. It's a lot of money, it's important to companies, so I'll make a motion, but I thought we were in agreement who we were gonna pick. If we're not, I think we should stop and even call a special meeting. I know people want to know, Viking wants to know, Tri-State wants to know, you know, so we can set it up in the spring. Somewhat first in line. I know we're making a decision out loud here. I'm willing to do it, but I don't know. I'd like to hear from one of the other three how to proceed. I will proceed. If not, if things are in limbo on certain, on you three people, let's hesitate then and call a special meeting. Otherwise, it will go another month
No.
for the next meeting.
I'd rather not wait. I think we need to move ahead so we can start planning for next year. I honestly both of these are both capable companies, so I have no objection to either one of them. I think we'll get a good job out of either one.
Make a motion if you want a motion.
Pardon?
I'd be ready to make a motion.
Okay.
I was just looking at the numbers though. I do like the 3-year warranty from Viking, and that price does include the logo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the new logo, which, I mean, I think we should put the new logo on there.
I think they both include that in the price.
They do.
Is it?
They do
okay?
now? Oh, okay,
Can
I
interject, or is that not, I don't wanna.
see the box.
Yeah, so when we interviewed them the other day, neither one of them included the logo.
Okay,
But Tri-State said they would include the logo at the same price.
oh, at that,
Where Viking at that time, I believe, was at 10 to 15,000 more for the logo.
And that was sort of a like curveball. They didn't know that we were gonna be asking about that, so I was asking for ballpark estimates.
That's what ballpark
So-
estimates, yeah. And then Viking, I guess, went back and checked their figures and came back with 174.7. And
and they added
Tri-State
another,
is still the same.
and they added another year onto their warranty.
And then there was a difference in permits. Not a lot of money, but just the way it transpired. And then if I may, I would like to just give my opinion. I think, being we did have a hiring committee, and the hiring
Well,
committee,
It wasn't a hiring committee,
no, it wasn't.
but it wasn't a
You
committee
know.
that was actually set up. It was just a meeting that,
Yeah, I just
was
tried to
whoever was
organize
there.
it to
Right.
help
I
somebody
didn't-
else
I
make
didn't-
that,
I
to
didn't
help
mean
inform you
hiring
guys.
committee, bad choice of words, but the people heard the presentation by everybody. So, you know, I think the motion, if we're gonna have a motion, I would think anyhow, should come from somebody that heard all three proposals. That's my opinion. Now, whether that's right or wrong, that's just my opinion. Any thoughts on that statement by itself, or?
I guess I trust you guys' judgment, cause you know, other than the 1 extra year of warranty, they both seem very,
They
very
were.
similar.
Bruce, how much difference does 2-year warranty to 3-year warranty make?
I said earlier, from what I understand, if it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail in the first year, you'll start to see areas, so. You should know within the first couple of years if you're gonna have problems, they should be up there. Hopefully, whichever one does it, we don't have problems, cause we don't wanna, even if they'll take care of it, I don't wanna have to have that downtime issue. I'd like it to be done right the first time and no worries about the warranty thing. Cause ultimately it will cost us a lot more if there is warranty stuff by the time we take it back out of service and that kind of stuff, so.
I think I've said what I wanna say, but, Bruce seems like he wants to move ahead. I think we all wanna move ahead and not postpone it, for any length of time.
Are you looking for a motion?
I'm looking for a motion, yes.
Make a motion that we award a contract to Tri-State for the amount of $172,000 as presented.
Is there a second?
I would second that.
Any discussion, further discussion? All those, I'm sorry, yes.
I don't know, even though like Bruce said, it's only a one, it's gonna fail, and if it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail in the first year. It's just nice to see that extra year onto the warranty, just in case something does happen, but. There, I got my 2 cents in.
Yes, sir. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. We will go with Tri-State and Bruce or Lacey, probably Lacey will, or either one will notify the people.
Sounds good, thank you.
And yes, but I want to say you're both absolutely, and I mean that from my heart, you were both excellent, the two of you. That's who we were discussing at length at our meeting, so.
Well, we're disappointed. We were excited to work with you. I didn't know what, I understand, and I think they're a good company as well. So I hope the project goes well for you guys.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for your
Thanks for all your time.
You bet.
Okay, Bruce.
Okay, moving on. Spend some more money. New truck, I'd like to look at, or get a plow for that. The 2018 GMC. Getting down the price, I was gonna go with a straight blade to be cheap, but then state bid, it's only $200 difference to go with the V plow Western. I'd like to go, move ahead with that for $57.50 roughly installed, so.
Is it V-plow what you had on the other one?
That's what's on the 1 ton.
Oh, okay.
We had a straight on the half ton, but the price is so, I mean, if it
Yeah,
was,
you might
if
as
it was a
well.
little bit of spread, I'd go with the straight blade, but it's so close that it's,
And then that went through state bids, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Did you put the paper in here for that, Bruce, or no?
No, actually, I just got the final price today, so.
Oh, okay. And it was how much again?
57.43 actually, I just said 57.50.
Okay. And we had planned this all along, right?
That's
And
part of
budgeted
it,
for it,
yeah.
and everything? Okay. Well, I will make the motion that we accept that bid for the plow of the $57.50.
I will second that.
Any discussion? That is delivered and installed? or-
It's installed, we'll have to go to St. Cloud to get it put on,
Okay.
but yes, it's installed, ready to go.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, Bruce, for the new plow.
Okay, thank you. Wellhead protection plan, we've been pushing this off for quite a few years now. We have the well in place. They wanna move ahead with their, Department of Health wants to move ahead with our wellhead protection plan. And, our first step here is to appoint managers for it, who's gonna be overseeing the thing. They suggest we have one or two, usually it's my position, maybe hers, but we need to get something that says who you appoint as to oversee the wellhead protection thing. And, then this first step, they'll get information, and then next year we'll have to spend, or hire an engineer to do more of the work as far as checking for hazards and that kind of stuff, and how far it'll travel and that kind of stuff. But right now, we just need to appoint a manager for this thing.
And this is not optional, so we're thinking like, oh, we have to get an engineer, like we have to do this.
Yeah.
From the Department of
But
Health,
it's,
so.
we budgeted for it, so.
So is this like if there's any contaminants in our water supply, or what exactly is this?
More for controlling the contaminants around their water supply and how far they think it's gonna travel under the ground and that kind of stuff. Is there unsealed wells around there that we need to find? And then there'll be some grant money that's available if we need to spend money on things like that to seal them up, so we don't have problems with contamination down the line. And then they'll investigate how much water is coming from the river to the groundwater, how much, it might be miles away that it's coming in from maybe a feedlot or something somewhere, so they'll do all their stuff on that, so.
I will make a motion to put Bruce in charge.
Thank you.
Just looking out for it.
Did you need 2 people?
We can have one or two or whatever you want.
Yeah, we were both sort of like, oh, we don't care.
Yeah. If you
Either way.
wanna
I mean,
co-manage
it's not like I
doesn't
won't be working with him on it,
And how do you
So
say
any-
that it's non-negotiable?
pretty much,
Let
pretty
me
much.
reframe my or take my motion back to put Bruce and Lacey.
What?
I'll second that.
Sounds like a done deal almost.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, passed,
Now it's a done deal.
yes.
Only other thing I'm gonna bring up here, I guess, as long as we got you, is we had a sewer plug last week, and one of our residents didn't realize it was on our end, and they hired somebody to come in and try and patch it up. And I'm thinking we probably should cover their cost of rootering, because it wasn't their fault at that point, so they got a bill for $250 here, so just wanted to run that past you in case you had any objections to it, but I don't know, I think we probably should cover it. We have in the past on situations like this, but just want to make you aware.
And the council should approve that.
So then the blockage, was it like outside of the street? I always get confused as
It
to
was-
where, how,
It was clear down by the lift station, but
oh,
way away from where they had. I'm surprised nobody else is having problems.
Oh, really?
But it was kind of weird.
Require a motion for that?
I would go ahead.
Looking for a motion to cover the $250.
I would make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have, unless you have something for me.
I just have one, I don't know how important it is, question on that lady's tree that was dying over by the dog park.
Yes.
Did she purchase a new one, or?
They didn't have any more. They all got damaged last year. The same down there as they did here, so We marked it out, come winter time, we're gonna clip off the dead ones and see how it pans out, I guess, yeah, that's where it's at this point. She did, pour a cement slab in there, or next to it, within the last couple weeks, so I'm hoping pretty soon we'll be seeing their new bands show up, though.
Any concerns or comments for Bruce? Thank you. Administration, Lacey.
Okay. Page 30 and 31, you'll see we have two different water usage reports. The first one on page 30, those are the numbers that we've been giving you recently.
That was me, sorry.
Darcy and I were talking about it and thinking about it a little bit more, and we spoke with Bruce, and we realized that the way we've been calculating this has to do with the water pumped throughout the month. We've been doing from August 1st to August 31st, and that's the month. But our billing cycle from where we're getting how much water is billed might be a couple days here or there. And before, Bruce is always like, well, it's not gonna make that much of a difference, but we actually did the calculations and it does make quite a big difference. So the second page you have is the adjusted report that Darcy put together. So that takes the actual billing period and the actual usage period into account. So it's a better comparison. Overall, at the end of the day, we're right around 11% for the year. But this last month, you can see we went down to quite a bit, or down quite a bit. And do you remember what Terry Osterman said? What the typical is? Didn't she say it was right around 10%? I'll have to look. We met with somebody from Rural Water recently because I was asking, well, what does a normal city lose? Like, what's normal? And I'm almost positive she said right around 10%. But I'll have to get that number and get back to you on that next month. But it's definitely looking better. And so we will be going with the adjusted report from now on. Do you have any questions? I know it's sort of technical and weird and hard to explain, I guess, but. Okay, if we're done with that, I'm looking for approval to purchase a new outdoor bulletin board. The one that goes right outside City Hall currently. I think Bruce said it was an indoor bulletin board that a long time ago he sort of figured it out and reconfigured it and put it out there, but it fogs up all the time. Half the time you can't actually read the bulletin board and it's very crowded. So I've looked at getting a new one that's a little bit bigger, and that's an actual outdoor posting board. Bruce approved it even. It's just over $600. So I would be looking for approval to purchase that, and I do have money still in the budget for City Hall upgrades, updates. I should say updates, but.
Looking for a motion to purchase a new outdoor board?
Well, go ahead, I'll let you.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Alright.
Opposed? Motion carried. One, I should have, in discussion.
That's okay.
Is that lit at all, like for the evening at all?
It's not. We could, but I'm pretty sure with the street light, you could see it pretty well.
Okay.
And I figure most people have cell phones now. So if it is dark out, they all have flashlights on their phones. So I didn't think it was worth the extra cost and stuff like that to do that. Just wanted to give you guys an update. We do have the city property that we're not using anymore for sale. I did print one out up there for you guys if you wanted to look at it. It's on the website as well, and it's posted on the bulletin board inside. It came up with sort of an auction-like sale situation. I have not gotten any offers on any of the property yet. But yeah, so it sort of gives, it's a more fair way of doing it, I think. And if an employee or something decides they wanna bid on it, other people in the community obviously still have an opportunity to outbid them.
There's no chairs similar to these at all?
Not right now. Nope. I assume we'll have another sale in the next few months or so, and definitely in the spring, if not. With other equipment as we start cleaning stuff out and sort of a winter project, going through stuff.
How do we place our bids?
You read the directions. You can't get any. It's phone, in person, email, yep. But I think there are a couple items on there that some people were interested in that we've pulled off the sale because we weren't positive we weren't gonna use them anymore. Such as a couple old park benches. They may be used in a different park. We haven't made the final decision, so we held those off for right now. Then on page 32 and 33, you have the upcoming trainings. You can see this week, several people are going to the crisis management, all hazards preparedness at Sourcewell. So you know, Brian Stevens is representing the fire department. So we'll all be there. I'm gonna do my best earlier this week to sort of get the history of our disaster and our emergency plan, so I can bring that there and we can sort of look at what we've had in place. And then we'll be learning about that. Any changes will obviously have to come to the council actually, but be looking at that. That same night, there's the League of Minnesota Cities regional meeting. Pat and I are registered for that in Baxter. And then the only other thing anybody's registered for right now is the Region 5 Summit. Pat and I are registered for that towards the end of October. If you want to sign up for any of those or anything, let me know. Or if you have any questions. And then I actually had a few extra things that I wanted to bring up briefly. If I can get organized here. So first I want to hopefully get approval to pay the Relief Association the Fire State Aid. It's Fire State Aid, it goes to them every year. I would have had it on the agenda, but I didn't get it until late Friday. Or I forgot about it till late Friday, I don't remember at this point. In any case, we have $12,413.62 in Fire State Aid and $2,953.76 in supplemental Fire State Aid, and that is supposed to go to supplement their pension. So every year this money, basically the city gets it and we pay it to the Relief Association. So I'd be looking for a motion to approve me issuing that to them.